Hey everyone, Jake here from Made for the Range, and today I have an incredibly cool video to share with you guys. I am doing a one-of-one build that I think I was probably the only one to think of it, if I'm being honest. It's a little crazy, but we're actually going to take a Toulon design small batch, which is already incredibly special in its own right, and we're actually going to build it with just a little bit more flair because, well, that's usually what I'm up for. So thank you to the team, first off, over at Toulon for allowing me to do this. We are using a small batch Latrobe, which is my favorite release from the past about year of designs. This one was in honor of Mr. Palmer himself. So on the bottom of this 8802 style putter, we've got some Latrobe graphics with some crowns to represent the king and his major championships. And then we've just got such a simple, beautiful little build here. The one kind of caveat to this build is we had to use a flare tip shaft, which is flared at the end of the tip. There's no other way to describe that, really. But this was a little bit special, so the Toulon team also sent me out with one of these, but I'm going to be installing eventually a stability blackout on this guy, and then we're going to match it up with a blackout Toulon grip as well. But this doesn't match the blackout vibes that we've got going here with the head, the shaft, and the grip. And that's where my friend Krylon comes into play here. So we're gonna go ahead and we're actually just gonna spray the flare tip and then cut it to appropriate length, install the stability, and I'm gonna go roll it. This is not gonna be a collector's item. This is gonna go out on course and we're gonna go roll it. All right, so the first thing I did there was just prep the outside of the flare tip. So when you build with a BGT stability, you only need 8 inches of the actual shaft, but I prepped it a little bit more than that. This was just so that the paint sticks. We're gonna be using a nice matte black paint to kind of match the finish of that head and the shaft, and hopefully it all goes together really nicely. I gotta say, so far, so good. I think nature is involving itself a little bit, but that's okay. All right, that was coat number 3, so that should do it, assuming that that dries nicely. Then we'll get to the rest of the assembly. All right, so now that I have painted the shaft to the matte black to match the head and the stability, now we have to cut the shaft appropriately. So for a stability tour build, you need to cut the shaft at 8 inches. So I'm gonna take a little piece of tape here, and I'm just gonna set this on here. I've got my ruler obviously down here, so I'm just gonna mark this off at 8 inches. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cut this guy. All right. Now, we're going to actually undo a bunch of the work that we just did to get this guy ready, and we're gonna prep off the end here so that we can measure it. Okay, so sorry for the weird cut, but I actually had to wait. Today is the next day compared to what was just being filmed because I kind of messed up the end piece. So this is still the same piece, it's still the same cut and everything. I just had to strip everything off and repaint it and tape off the top bit here because when I tried to re-prep it with the paint on, it ended up just becoming kind of a mess, and I also didn't let it dry for long enough, and I was trying to rush. So anyhow, here we are the next day with a perfectly painted and prepped tip section. All I need to do is glue this into here, and then we're gonna glue the entire thing onto the head, and we'll be good to go. So to do that, I'm gonna use Quickset, which is super easy. Put a couple of strips of tape down on my bench here. Squeeze out just a little helper. That's all we need. Give this a stir. I'm also gonna Also going to prep this. So using a wire brush here, you just want to prep. So that's just prepping the inside of the stability shaft to accept the shaft tip piece that we've got here, which is already prepped in and of itself. And then we just want to take a little glue, put it inside the stability, and then I like to just roll the other end in the glue. I'm going to add a little bit of centering beads just for good measure. And then insert and twist. Does not matter, for the purposes of what we're doing, what the orientation is, because it's all black. We will worry about the orientation when we get it in the actual putter. So I just want to make sure this is seated all the way down. Perfect. Get one more quick wipe up there. Cool. And then I'm going to let that dry for just a couple minutes, and then we'll glue on that entire assembly to the head, and then we'll cut it, we'll grip it, and we'll have a brand new awesome small batch. Alright, so we're all glued up. You guys saw a little clip of me cutting it down there. I cut it to 33 inches, and we're going to finish it off with the blackout grip here, which is just so nice for this putter. It's going to be perfect. So, take our piece of tape, lay that down. Verify our length here, good. Wrap that tape around, tuck her in the back. A little bit of solvent on the tape. Bunch of solvent in the grip. Ooh, got some kickback. Grip dance, of course, this is the best part. And then grip goes on. Just like that. And that looks freaking awesome. Just gonna verify alignment over here. So here, actually, I'll show you guys. So in my shop, I got this little mat here. So when I want to make sure stuff is aligned, I just set it on the line of that mat. And then I can make sure everything is squared up, which is actually a trick. This is not a vlog style camera, so sorry for this. But that on the floor is actually a trick that I learned from Sean Toulon when I watched him build some other putters for me. So kind of cool that it's coming up in this video, huh? Okay, so that is it. Let's finally take the plastic off here of the head. And look at that beauty. The BGT flows right into the flare neck and then right into the putter head itself. Everything is a beautiful, beautiful matte black. The milling on the back of this head is so nice, so subtle, so sleek. And then I really think that the stability kind of holds it all together. And then obviously we topped it off with that blackout 2-1 grip as well. This is just a beautiful, beautiful build. So now I gotta take it out on course and we gotta test it. I'm not much of a collector, and although I think this is a pretty sick collector's item, we gotta go roll a few putts with it outside. All right, so now we're out on course with our beautiful, beautiful small batch Latrobe build here with the matte black, what would we call that? The matte black shaft tip at this point, I guess. And then we've got the Stability Tour Black here, the Blackout 2-on grip, and of course the beautiful, beautiful Latrobe in that 8802 style. So I want to take a couple putts now because I've been dying to get this thing out on course and roll it. The 8802 shape is so unique. Like it's such a, it's a little baby, which is so funny, but like every legendary golfer in history has used this shape at some point, it seems. Let's see if I can actually get a putt to the hole. There we go. It's so soft off the face. And I mean, it's a Toulon product, it's a small batch, so it's even gonna be heightened above all of Toulon's other products, but it's so soft, it's so nice. It's kind of freaky, I'm not gonna lie. That small of a profile behind the ball, and then the amount of offset that that hosel has, but how easily it flows into the head is just gorgeous. Of course, I love the stability feel. So I'm gonna grab these, we're gonna head to a different hole, take a couple more putts, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, so just to wrap up here, I just wanna throw a couple balls down on another green. Can we really quick just give another shout out to the little baby head cover? That thing is just so cool. So I wanna take a couple more putts, just get a feel for this guy. I do think this is a really sick build. Just me personally, I know for a fact that I am the only tinkerer on the planet who has decided to pull apart a small batch and put a stability on it. I'm not sure if I have Sean's nod of approval on that, but hopefully in the future I'll get it. So big up the hill here. I will say, with this little tiny shape, it's so easy to like turn the toe through impact. There we go. And last one here. Beautiful. Yeah, just such a cool build. Definitely gonna be in the collection for a long time, but you know, on certain fun little odd days, it's definitely gonna make its way out onto the course. We've got the Toulon Small Batch Latrobe, made for the King, released at the API in 2024. Blacked out aluminum tip section from the old shaft. And then we've got the BGT Stability with a Blackout 2-on grip on here. And a little baby head cover. So good. Look, just so good.